Okay, Jared, did you get in? Okay. So anybody not able to get into my big, okay, still. Just take a walk around the school. So if you, is that your school there?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, just go there. So, let me just take a quick minute and talk about what my big campus is. But this will be kind of a, we'll be using it in practice for this class. And so rather than getting everything set up beforehand and saying, okay, log in here and here's assignments and here's this and that, I'll just build it as we go so you can see exactly how you would do the same thing with your classes. So what my big campus is, again, it's a website that's provided by our filter. The filter is Lightspeed, and most of us are familiar with Lightspeed just from getting our websites blocked as you try to do searches and do those kinds of things. We have to provide the filter because there's a federal law that gives us great discounts on our network and our internet connections if we provide a filter to students. So that's what Lightspeed is, but it's part of that company's philosophies. They've recognized it as Facebook becomes reality with our students, YouTube, and those kinds of things. And
Where are you going?
Provide a way for those kinds of tools that's in a safe and monitored environment. So
What?
I created this website called My Big Campus. And was there a question? No? Okay. And so if anybody has a Facebook account and you use Facebook, I have an account, I see it, I don't know, maybe once a week is all I visited. But, it's really set up to be that type of an environment. Keeping that in mind, it's not a multi-billion-dollar company like Facebook, and so we're not going to get all the same features that you might have in a Facebook. But they've done a pretty good job with saying, okay, what are some useful tools from that we can adapt and use in a safe and monitored environment. So as you log in, these are the different parts or components that make up My Big Campus. Activity is like, again, best thing to do is probably compare it back to Facebook and a Facebook wall. So this is like looking at my wall on Facebook. So it has things that I posted. It also has people that I have some type of relationship with in My Big Campus on there. So Brenda Curtis, you all know, we belong to the same Renaissance Learning Group, and so I'm getting the posts from her on that. The tech committee posts, okay? So it's just a wall that, again, people in Facebook world that I'm friends with, their posts would show up on my wall, and here, as I'm associated with people through different groups, then those posts show up on my activity page. Okay? So activity page is basically a wall. EduTalk is something new that they just released fairly recently, which is a chance for people. If you notice over here, they have hashtags. Anybody in here tweet? Anybody have a Twitter account or tweet at all? Okay. I have a Twitter account, and I don't ever think I have anything important enough that I need to tweet about it, so I don't use it. But it's that type of philosophy. So if you notice these hashtags, I don't know if you've been watching the debates or that, but that's a common feature of tweeting where basically those are tags with certain things that people are talking about. And so if I wanted to say, look at things specifically about My Big Campus, I could click on that, and it's going to show, again, short messages, and it is actually tied back into Twitter, so people can actually tweet and have it go to their My Big Campus accounts. So short messages about different topics. Okay, I haven't used this one a lot, but it's there if anybody is a Twitterer. So I don't even know what some of these hashtags are, but okay. Conversations, and I think this is kind of a could be a useful tool. It's one that probably a lot of us aren't using yet, but it could be a way that you could have conversations with other My Big Campus users. So again, it could be a way that you could exchange messages back and forth with students. You could exchange messages back and forth with other teachers, either in your school or at other schools. So anybody that has a My Big Campus account, which should be all of our students and teachers now. You have that option to message back and forth. Okay, Schoolwork will come and talk about it a little bit later, but it's an interactive way that you could actually have students submit assignments to you virtually, have them submit them to you online, and we'll actually use.
Hey Scott.
For some of ours, yes.
Do elementary students now have My Big Campus account?
They should. We just the issue before was we don't create user accounts for our elementary students. So starting in 7th grade, when students come into middle school, they actually log into the computer with a username and account. In our elementary schools, they just log in with a generic, like Fairview student or Woodland Hill student account. But we found a way that we had imported our students in, and really the key was we used for usernames and passwords. So when we changed with Renaissance in the fall, and we have a standard username and password for our elementary students, now we can import them into it. So they should be there. And we'll explore that here in just a minute and make sure that they really are. Your stuff, this is where you can upload files, pictures, all kinds of, really pretty much any type of file you have on your computer, you can upload here and it would be available to your students to see, or other people in different groups. I think there's starting to be more and more ways that we're seeing that we can use this. My Big Campus Documents is slightly different, and what it is it's a really, really, really basic online word processing option. So I think we have some better tools coming back to the Microsoft Live for that I'll talk about, but just know that that's there as an option too. And then you have a calendar. Now calendars are probably one of the most requested features we had from teachers back when I was teaching the Novus class about web pages. And we never had a really good way of building a web page into Novus. Well, this is a great calendar option here where you can go in, create an online calendar here, and again, as I show it to you, it's something that your parents could have access to if you wanted to publish it out to parents. Your students would definitely have access to it, and you can actually have multiple calendars for different items. So up here, it's hard to read from where you are, but this has legends about assignments, personal, you can read what that says. That resolution's really bad. Recurring group.
Events.
Oh, events, that's what it is. Okay, so personal events and group events. So you can see on here I have events for our tech committee. I will put on our classes for this class on there as well. But anyway, so there's some calendaring options there too. And then a blog. Probably most of us are fairly familiar with a blog, but a blog is really just a quick, simple web page that you can update very easily. So it doesn't have say the full features of doing a full page in a Novus, but it's a really much better way to just keep parents and students informed on what's going on in our classes. So you can just add a new blog post. There's a little bit of formatting options here. Again, you can attach videos, hyperlinks, pictures, those kinds of things into your blog as well. Okay. Then the last one, and we should probably take a second to look at this, is your profile. Okay, so there's my wall, photos, blog. Maybe it's under About Me. Okay, yeah, so if you click on the About Me, you can click here and edit your account information, and that's where you can change some of the things in My Big Campus. So if you wanted to put in a different first name, that's not going to affect anything we have here. You can put in a title for yourself, the subjects that you teach, grade levels you teach. I would definitely leave your email as your district email. Okay, you can put in a phone number if you want to put in a phone number. Personally, I don't think I would do that, but you can do that if you'd like. But that's a way that if you really get into this, you can start to get messages about it and those kinds of things. Yeah, Jeanette?
The screen name, I think that was assigned to me.
Yes, that's been assigned, but you can change your screen name.
Okay.
Yep, no problem at all there. So I changed, I think you can change it, maybe not. No, that's actually not in a box. I think everything else you can. So is it is it Nielsen J? Is that the
I
screen?
have J. Jones.
Oh, J Jones. J Jones, huh? Instead of Jones J.
And the 152.
If you want to shoot me an email, I think I can change that under the settings. So, okay. And then there's a profile photo. So there's the default ones. The Y is not a default one. That's my own. But you can click on Browse. Probably isn't going to do a lot of good on these computers, but back on your home computer, you could go to your My Pictures file and pick a picture from there. Or if you want to pick one off the internet, you could do that.
How did you get that Y?
So I just pulled it off the internet. I found a Y picture on the internet, saved it into my documents, and then clicked here on Browse, and I found it.
I clicked on Browse and it went to my desktop.
Yeah, so from your desktop, you can, that's where mine goes, but then I can go to My Documents and My Pictures. But our Pictures folders are a little interesting. They, I don't think they're coming across. Anyway, it's a long story, but you probably won't see them here. But back on your home computer, or your school computer, you could. Yeah, yep. You could absolutely. You can do it from a home computer. You can do it from your school computer, your classroom computer, however you want to do it.
How did you get to that page?
Okay, so I was over here on the left on the profile, and then I went to the tab that says About Me.
So if you put two pictures on, where's the second picture on? If like that wide or third way, is there's like 7 places for pictures down here.
Oh, you could just pick one of them, I think. Yep.
Okay, so you put them all in and choose one.
Yep, exactly. Okay. So did you see that? And then under About Me, there is this Edit Your Account Information link right here. From Profile, and then on the Profile, there's these tabs right here across the top. And I went to the About Me one.
Well, then if it goes to desktop, can you access this from home, do work, save it, and
Yeah.
go back to school the next day? So
Absolutely. Yep.
this takes the place of the flash drive.
This could. Yeah, and then I'm going to talk about another option for taking place of a flash drive too. But if you uploaded the document to here from your home computer, it will be there because you're uploading it to a website. So now any computer in the world, you can get to that website and see those files. Yep. There's some questions. Good. Okay. And then just a couple of other things here under my profile. Followers. I think I have a couple of followers. So your students could say follow you, and then as you post things, they could see those, and you can follow other folks. So again, I'm not personally that heavily invested into social networking, but I could see some benefits and really some educational benefits with our students. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about with this. So underneath these different areas of my big campus here on the left, the next one down is you have 3 more tabs: a groups tab, a people tab, and a topics tab. Okay. So I haven't joined any topics, but groups, notice these are all groups that I'm part of. So a Breitling training group, Counselors Book Club. I was over Counselors last year, so we started a book club. D93 Principal, Secretary's Tech Committee, Total Instructional Fast Forward group. There's a how-to group. I think that has a couple things in there. Power School, Renaissance. So different groups that we set up really so that now we're not just using this to interact with students, but to interact as teachers and with other professionals in the district to have discussions or to post things of common interest or to share folders and files and those kinds of things. And so the last one, I have a Teaching with Tech group down here that'll have everybody join. So you probably won't see this one on yours. So if you want to join this Teaching with Tech group, you can click on More Groups, and then you should be able to type it right up here or browse down to find that. I don't think you'll see it on mine because I've already oh, it's there. Okay, so then you can click on that. I won't be able to do it like you will, but when you click on that, you should see a little icon up at the top that says to join. So let me see if I can flip over. Cliff, are you following me on this? With this?
Am I a follower?
Well, are you doing this in my big campus?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna flip over to your screen for a second then, so they can see.
Interactive technology, but teaching with tech. So there's two of them.
Should just be teaching with tech. So, Cliff, if you'll show us your screen. Oh, there we are. And so if you click on teaching with tech here, and then right up here, there's a join group option. Everybody see that? And so then as soon as you join it, it shoots me a little email and says, so-and-so wants to join it, and I'll go ahead and check my email quick.
I can have a join, it just tells me like I'm there. Came up right here.
So right now I have Jennifer Arnells.
I'm not happy with my 10 minutes here. I brought it here. So, yeah.
Yeah, you
I don't have to join.
Okay. Okay, so I've got Jared's, Jennifer's, Sherman's, Cliff, Robert, Tanya, James, Nicole. Yeah, I'm not seeing yours yet.
When I bring it up, it just says edit maintenance important. It doesn't say join. I kept it over here, add groups, teaching with tech and business.
Oh, click on more groups right here. And then here, go to teach. This one, you actually created that one. You clicked on add a group, you created that one.
So I need to take it off.
So, yeah, well, so we'll take care of that one, but let's do, yeah, so we'll type in teaching with tech there. Think it will.
I'm just doing my own thing, huh?
Yep, you're doing your own, so,
So I want yours, not mine.
go and click back. And then we'll just click on,
That's
that
mine.
means you can, I have to search one more time. Okay. There you go. Excellent. Okay. Did everybody here, were you able to join then? And online, was everybody able to join? Just got Jennifer's and Mrs. Jones. Okay. So pretty hopefully painless process on how to join those groups. The other option is when you create your own. Okay, let's go ahead and do that for a second. Let's go ahead and create your own group. So before, to join a group, we clicked on the More Groups option, and that was to join groups that are already created by somebody else. But if we wanted to create a group for our class, then you would click on Add a Group, give it a title. Everybody see that? Did I go too fast? Oh, am I still showing you? Thanks, Cliff.
What do you want to name?
So here's what I would do: is think about the classes you're teaching. Elementary is probably a little simpler because you could just call it your name and your class. You could put in first grade or fourth grade. Probably the secondary teacher, I just pick one of your subject areas and say, I'd probably at secondary level I do it by period. Say Scott's second hour English class, or how you want to do it. I just set it up for one group right now.
Say your first or last name, and the kids looking at it, or?
Yeah, kids will see this. Yes.
So, Mr. Powell.
Yeah, Mr. Powell's social studies class. I'll show you just some examples of groups that other teachers have created while we're waiting here.
Okay, yeah, you
Okay, so these are just some examples from Hillcrest groups that teachers have created. Okay, so again, to create my own group for a class, I just click on Add a Group, give it a title, put down the school. For you, it probably defaults to your school. Okay, you can give a description. And again, same thing on the photo. If you had some type of photo you wanted to put with that class, you could do that. Don't necessarily have to do that, but you can add photos onto those. Okay, and then click on Save.
If you were to take a picture of the class, you would have to get permission from every photo away.
You know, I struggle with that a little bit. The best practice, what we really need to be careful of is putting students' names with a photo. And that's what we really want to be careful of. If you had just a group photo of a class, I don't have that same level of concern because it's no different to me than when the newspaper comes in and takes pictures of our kids for different things like that. But I'd be really careful about putting full kid's name with a photo on the website.
For some reason, his is coming up, got student view or that, that's the option to add a group. Okay.
Oh, it did? Okay, I'll have to go in and do some work on that for you. Okay. Now, from there, once you have your group created, did everybody get your group created? Any trouble creating a group? And online, if jump in if you're having trouble, if you need me to stop or slow down on it. Once your group is created, your option for having people join the group is they can do it just like we did. You can tell your students, okay, I've got my group created, go in and find it under this name. Or you can come now and click on members with your group because you own it, and you can actually type in the users you want to add to your class. So let's say I wanted, just for the heck of it, I'll put my daughter into this class. So I just type it in, it should find them, and then you can click Add Users that way. So it's a little bit more work for you, but especially elementary level, if you've only got, the 20, 25, 36 kids, however many you have in your class, it might be simpler just to add those students in, know that they're there and they've joined it.
Do we just put their name, or do we have to put an email? Or?
No, just start typing in their name.
Can't you type in more than one name?
Yeah, and you can type in multiple names.
What's something you do with this? Is that something you're going on?
Yeah, so we'll talk about different things you can do with that. But yeah, notice it puts in that one, and then I can start typing in a second name and on through. So, okay. So here's the key difference with My Big Campus and with Novus is Novus was designed just to be really a one-directional web page. My Big Campus is designed to be two-directional. So now students can interact with you, you can interact with students, again, you can chat back and forth. Students can post questions or comments to each other. It's kind of interesting today. I kept on getting in my email saying this item has been flagged as inappropriate. It's just like one after another. All these things have been flagged as inappropriate. So I go in and check out what's going on. It's just three kids at bottom screwing around with each other. So they are posting comments back and forth and just flagging each other. The other one's comments as inappropriate. So we had to shut them down for a couple of days and say, guys, anyway. So, but that's what it's designed for. It's that type of social interaction. And so, keep in mind that this is a school site to protect our students from inappropriate content, whether it's between each other or whether, most especially from people outside. And so it's not an open forum like Facebook is. So students have to log in to be able to do those kinds of features. And so, as we're getting into this, that's why you would want to add your students into a group is they can log in and they can see information you're communicating to them essentially privately within that group that wouldn't necessarily be available for everybody else out on the internet. Now, with that being said, do you have an edit option here with your group?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you click on edit, there are some key things that you can look at what you want to do with your groups. So the first one is privacy, and that is you can put this out there basically as a public web page where anybody could find it on the web and see discussion items, see announcements, see the calendar, see resources and pages. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. So especially if you're thinking about parents being able to get in and see this, parents would either have to log in under their students' accounts to be able to see those kinds of things that are here, or you can make them public. And I think being public is just fine. And this is really where it could start to replace your web page. But if you wanted to keep it just selected to the students that are in your class, then you would check the box above that. And again, you can check any one of those boxes to say it's either private or not private. Okay? Does that make sense? So is under edit right up here above your group. Okay? So you need to select your group first. And then once your group is selected in here, then you can click on edit. You can change the name, you can put in description. Notice this says homepage content, so that's where you can put in, say, a static teacher web page that gives an overall view of what you're teaching in your class this year. And then you have some options on the privacy for it. Okay. You also have options on whether you want to allow students to create pages for the group, or whether you only want you to be the one to create pages, or you could select specific people that could create pages for the group. Okay. And then you can choose which pages you want to have available. So you don't have to have everything that's available there. You can pick and choose which ones you want. Announcements, I think, are a great idea where you can really pretty simply go in and make a quick group announcement saying, you know, this assignment is due on this day. This field trip is coming up, whatever kinds of announcements you might have. Discussions might be one you want to disable. Again, I think it's a great tool, but if you're going to use it, I'd make sure that I was teaching my students about appropriate interactions with each other with those discussions. So if you don't think that's going to be useful now, you could uncheck it right now and then check it back on later if you think that there's a need for that. Same thing with the chat. Pages, again, are basically web pages that can be created as part of the group. Resources are files that can be uploaded for the whole group to share. So again, PDFs or Word documents or Excel documents, you can put all those things up under this group now that they'll have access to, and I'll walk you through doing some of that here as a group here in just a second. And then a calendar and members. Yes?
Now, a student that may access this, they can't get into areas that you don't want them, like your desktop and your documents.
Right. This is just a website. That's all they're going to is this My Big Campus website. So they won't be able to see anything on your personal computer at all. They're just going to see the things you put up here to the web page for their group.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So again, and you can come back and you can change those settings as often as you need to adapt it to your class and how it's functioning. Okay. But let's look at some things that we could do now with this. Now that we have it here, let me start with. I'm going to put in an announcement. Okay. And this will take us back to the registration part of the class. And I have my email. Okay. I have a couple of things. So first one I have is this website for people to use to log in. So I'm going to copy that and come to My Big Campus and just say register for and now, one tricky thing is usually we're used to in Word and that'll look like a hyperlink, but as soon as I post that, then it turns it into a hyperlink. So now, as you come and click on the Teaching with Tech group over here, you can see announcements, and there's a link to that. And chances are that you probably just got an email from me as well when I made that announcement with that post in it. Okay. And so now you've got a website that you can click on to use to register for class. Okay. Now the other thing you're going to need is the information about the class to fill in with that. So I'm going to come back to my email real quick, and here is the information we need. Okay, so this is a file from my email. that was basically the one approving the course. And this Word document is the one that has the information we need in it. So I'm just going to click on that and save it. I'm just going to put that over on my flash drive quick, so don't have to worry too much about what I'm doing right here. I'm just going to put this into our Teaching with Tech class. Okay. Okay, so now I've got a file on my computer that I want to upload to My Big Campus. So I'm here under My Big Campus. Okay, so I'm still in our Teaching with Tech group. And now, again, files they call resources. So I'm just going to click on resources, and looks like I have a couple old ones in there. But I'm going to do a new file, and it says upload a file from your computer. And I notice I can either click here to upload it, or I can drag and drop it. So I'm going to click on the upload one. And I just need to find that file on my computer. I put it on my flash drive. Teaching with Tech, and upload this Word document. Okay. So now I've taken a document and shared it with all of you. So again, as we're thinking about this in terms with your classes, I mean, really that simply, I've now shared a document with all of my kids. If they can access it either at the computer lab or on a computer at school, or they can access it at home. Okay, and they can just click under the resources to find that. So, yeah, and I need to, that should, oh, right there. There's this button here to share the attached item. So I'll click on share it, and now it's there for you. Okay, so now you should be able to see it under your resources, and you can click on that. You can open it. Okay. And now that has the information you need to register for the class.
Now, if you're already in there, you have to get out and back in to boot it up, right? Will it come to it, or do you have to get out and then?
No, it's a web page, so the most you should have to do is refresh it, and it should pop in.
But it won't just pop in unless you refresh it or something.
Yeah, because you're probably looking at a static web page, so as soon as you hit refresh, it should upload it. Okay. So let's go ahead and do the registration then for those of you that haven't registered yet. So again, if I come to
If I've done it, I don't.
yeah, if you've already registered, you're fine. But for those of you that weren't able to, under the announcements, you can click on that link to go to NNU's website. Under Take a Course, you can click on Get Started. I think. Find a course. Now I've got to remember how. Okay, let's do all courses. And they don't have a search
Under find a course.
under Find a Course. Did I? Oh, right there. Thank you. Okay, so Find a Course. And we'll click on Search Courses, and we can do Teaching with Interactive, and I think that should be all we have to do to find it. Okay. Teach with Interactive Technology, we can click on that link, and that's us. And so then you can just click on the register button there. A little simpler process than those yellow pages when their website's working. So
Add to your cart to register.
yeah.
Now, what's going to be required?
So what's going to be required, we'll be doing almost all the work right here as part of our class, but at the end it'll be creating an interactive lesson for the Brightlink projectors, or in his case for the Smartboard projectors, and showing that to the class. So
Showing that to this class or our class at school?
hopefully both. So, but yeah, we'll have people present and show to the rest of them. It's a great way to share ideas on on how to use those tools that are there. So.
Yeah. I have several.
Oh, you got several emails once you did this?
And then, yeah.
Okay. Then you can click on checkout. Okay. And then if you haven't created an account yet, that's where you'll want to click here to create a new account. Or if you did think you might have created an account, then you can look it up.
Jennifer's only got the register today, they don't, do they? Not till February 8th, right?
I think so, yeah. No, you can use any password you want to for
This is
Edenio.
SB 8 letters only.
8.
8 characters long.
Secret question.
So while folks are signing up there, any questions on My Big Campus with what we've covered so far? So again, we'll be using it really as part of this class. I think that's one of the best ways to learn is just by getting in and seeing how it works with us.
I linked my two, I keep taking math and 7th grade math.
Okay,
I made both those groups public,
okay,
and you're supposed to be able to access the resources page if it's public.
okay,
So when I try to click on the link, you know, if I log out of My Big Campus and I click on my link for my group, my public group, and when I click on resources, it doesn't show
it doesn't show.
the resources.
Did you do the share? There's that step that I almost missed here with ours. When I uploaded the file, it had that option to share it.
Oh, that's probably what the heck is going on. Okay.
And I think, so if I do a new file here, let me just,
Do you have a promo code?
no,
Just,
darn it.
just here to ask.
Nope, never hurts to ask. Okay, so if I don't hit share,
Where
then,
was the share?
so see it's right here. And so I just uploaded it, but I haven't shared it yet. And so if I want that to be available, I need to click on the share attached items. Otherwise, it's just going to kind of sit here in a no man's land.
So,
So I can click there.
I thought I did that.
Okay, you think you did that? So let's take a look at your group.
I've got Sherman Course 2 and Sherman Course 3. Nothing.
But do you see them under yours?
Yeah.
And
I can show you.
Yeah,
Step 2 on
let me just
Sherman
walk
Course
around.
3.
And so, to put my edit there. So, nothing's checked here. And so,
Okay, can you look at my Sherman Course 2 then?
Yeah.
Because I have all that clicked on Course 2.
And then any questions from anybody online? Did everybody online, were you able to sign up for the credit? So I had the video 2 to 1.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, so I just forgot to do it on Course 3.
Okay.
Okay,
Good.
thanks.
Okay. As far as people here, how are we doing on the registration? Almost done? Okay.
Transaction has been,
Jared will lend you his credit card. It doesn't matter.
It's just the,
It says not here, so I did 12.
you just do 12, 12, you don't have to put the 20
Well, I know, but that's what I did. I mean, it's February 12th, so it's
So
02
it's
12.
12.
It got me.
Gotcha? Okay.
It got
Jennifer,
me.
you're doing all right? Okay. Okay, I'm going to show you one other cool thing with My Big Campus. I think we have everything set up for our group. Maybe I'll just take a second and put in so here under calendar, again, is where we can add calendar events, and so that's just as simple as clicking on the calendar, creating a new event, and
And are you the only one who can do that?
so you can specify whether you want other people to be able to do that or just you, okay? And you can pick the date for it. So say the 25th. And we'll go with 4. And again, don't panic. I'll put it in 6:30 p.m. just to be right on the books, but we won't ever go that late. Okay, and then it has an occurrence, but I think on the occurrence it's only weekly, and so we'll probably have to go in and actually create each one of those by hand, but it has location for it. You can actually put maps on there if you want to show maps. Okay. But then, oh, it is, sorry. Why was I thinking monthly for some reason. We want to meet more than monthly, so yeah, every Wednesday. And then click on save. Okay. Description can't be blank, so this class will cover Easy Teach, Happy Campus, and Microsoft Live. Okay, I'm going to do save. Okay, so it even puts in a nice little map there for us. And you have some options with deleting those or editing them. I couldn't quite get this one to work, but if you use your
ours?
so it should now pop up on your calendar. Yep. Okay. So if you go to our group, let's start with that. If you go to our group on Teaching with Tech, and then you click on the calendar. No, it's not there, is it?
See, I tried to put something in my mind, it didn't say it.
Do you have to subscribe to calendar?
No. Subscribing would be, you should be able to put it like into your Outlook calendar if you do that. So I saved it, didn't I? Oh, create event for personal. That's what I messed up. Okay. I put that somewhere on my own calendar. What I wanted to do was say, create it for a group, then use our Teaching with Tech group right here, then give it a title, 25th at
Go down to Wednesday.
p.m. 25th to 6:30 every Wednesday. Okay, and then there's, again, the categories, if we want to put a category in. And then, do you guys want a reminder on it?
Sure.
All right. And we'll send it an hour before.
Would the reminder come to your email or?
Yes. Yep, should pop up in your email.
So then if you were on your group, if you were to put in like your parents,
So parents can't join My Big Campus.
parents cannot?
Nope, just students.
Just students.
Yep.
So if I put my kids in,
Is there any place
I-
to put their emails?
we're gonna have this March, April, May, June,
Put it
July,
everywhere.
August.
Yeah.
Forever.
So we'll have to, I'll go in and I'll cancel. I was surprised they didn't have a way to stop
Yeah.
the,
Give us a
recurrence,
date,
but-
starting stuff.
So when does it end? March?
it will end on, so we need to go, 6 times 2.5. So today is the 25th, so this will be, oh, that put it way back, didn't it? So this will be our 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, so February 29th.
Okay.
The last one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, then if I wanted to like schedule a science test and send my kids a reminder, would I have to put their emails?
And see, the elementary students won't have, what I would do, I'm really looking at this, is I would have the students go in, you probably want to take them into the lab to do it, but they should be able to, under their own profile, I think, put in, and if they go to About Me, then they should be able to put in an email address there,
Okay.
right?
So now they're all, elementary kids are authorized at this point.
They should be
We just
imported,
need to get them
right.
to where,
So let's just do a quick check on that. I'm going to log out and see if I can, well, I'd have to look in PowerSchool. I'll double check that tonight and just see if I can log in as my daughter, but that should work.
My elementary school students, when I started creating my class, they would pop up.
Right. And they've actually always popped up. The issue has been they've never been able to log in because we haven't had a password assigned to our elementary students. But now we, like I said, we followed the same protocol as STAR and hopefully everything else where we're using their student ID number as their user ID, and then their first name is their password. So,
so their Renaissance Brooks for my big campus.
yeah, we're trying to keep that across everything now. That was my whole point of, I was like, I know it's going to be painful to have them remember a number, but if we can do it for every program we ever have, then it should be fine. So,
Scott,
yes.
this is Jennifer. I teach 5th grade, and I found my students for elementary.
Yeah, I think you'll find them in there. It's just a question of whether the students can log in or not. That's always been our breakdown, is getting them to log in.
Okay.
And maybe I can just check my kid quick and see by the time we're done. Yeah. Do you have her ID quick?
Yeah, let me get some of these up.
One more question, Scott.
Sure, jump in.
Is there, if elementary students don't have a school email, so is there a safe email that we could sign them up for?
Yeah,
Now or something?
yeah. See, right now, our district email accounts, as well as our student email accounts, are all through Microsoft, and so that's basically the same thing as Hotmail or Live. And we'll actually go there and talk about that a little bit too. And so I would probably just have them sign up for that. But if you stuck with Yahoo or Hotmail or Gmail, any of those would be fine. But personally, where that's going to be what they're using come 7th grade, I wouldn't have them sign up for Hotmail accounts. Did you find it already, or
Yeah.
might be quicker for me to cut and paste it?
Oh, I have it.
If I can spell my own name.
Okay.
Okay, should get a drum roll for this. See if it's really going to work or not. And one thing to be careful of is Woodland Hills luckily is its own, but Discovery, we found there's another Discovery Elementary. So when your kids sign in, if they grab the one in California, it's going to create a little bit of a problem. It's fixable, but it's just one thing to watch as they do that. So, oh, I didn't let her in. So I'm going to have to work with Joe and see what's going on there. Okay. Well, this is a good test run, and I'll work with Joe Tamayo that's over this and see what we need to do to make sure they can get in. Because it's not letting them. I'll check her profile too. So, okay. So one other thing I wanted to show you with My Big Campus then is this is also the way that you can stream YouTube videos into your classrooms safely and effectively. So anybody use My Big Campus to do that yet? Okay, excellent. So the first thing is you need to be able to get to YouTube. And so what I will do, I'll probably make that a feature for next week. But the idea is to allow teachers to override the filter, which is a good thing, and teachers need to be able to have that ability. At the same time, I want to make sure that teachers understand the appropriate times to override the filter and the appropriate purposes, and especially the context. And so we did a little safety orientation for teachers and said, once you go through this training, then we'll put you in the override group. So I'll make that part of our class for next week, if everybody's okay with that. And then we'll put you into that override group so that you can actually override the filter. But it's interesting because some teachers have ignored that already. And so one teacher, for example, is overriding the filter and going and just playing games while her kids are working on something. And game playing sites happen to be very prone to viruses. And so her computer kept on contracting viruses and having issues. And so, as we're saying, we didn't notice that was the issue until we saw the viruses popping up from there. And then we had to have a conversation about using computers appropriately in the computer use agreement, and especially as you're overriding the filter. So anyway, we'll make that part of our discussion for next week, and then you'll have this ability to override the filter. But in the meantime, I'll go to YouTube quick. And of course, it's going to be blocked like that. So what you'll have the ability to do is come in here, type in your username and password, and override the filter. Okay. So this is a good example on why YouTube's not unblocked. I just log in, and right off the top, there's a swear word there, and this will be a good lead-in for our class next week. But the reason why we don't want teachers to override the filter to show YouTube videos from YouTube is exactly that. Is if I'm up in front of my class and I want to show me a YouTube video and I just go to YouTube, then we have no control over what's going to pop up here, especially, I'm just going to click on this one because it's obviously a good example. You're going to see all the swear words here. Generally down here in these comments, you're going to start to see some F-bombs coming in and those kinds of things. And so YouTube, I think, is a great resource, but we really need to make sure that we're using it in a way that's just like an example of something you'd like to show a YouTube video on in your class. You have a fun one? Okay. Teach me how to play this rap song. Okay, so I'm going to click on that. With YouTube, isn't necessarily the videos here, because YouTube does a pretty good job of not putting inappropriate content into their videos, although there's, again, it's an open forum for comments, and so you just have no idea what's going to pop up here on the sides. Okay, once I have that link, I can come up here and I can copy the address. I can come back to My Big Campus, and I can come to the library. Okay. And this is actually probably a great way to start, is just see if that happens to be there. So it was what? Teach me how to factor?
Teach me how to factor.
So all these videos that are here have already been submitted to My Big Campus, and they're there. So they have a Teach Me How to Study one, Teach Me How to Factor right there. So I don't even have to go to YouTube to get it. I can start with my search in My Big Campus and see if they have the video there to show. And now notice we don't have all the comments. It basically strips all that stuff outside and just shows the video. Okay. Now, if there's a video that I wanted to show that's not already part of this, then I could come here and I could do a search for it. Oops. Sorry, let me do that again. Come here to the library, click on Add a New YouTube Video, and type in the address here. Just paste that address so all I did was I copied the address from here and brought it and pasted it there. Click on Get Info, and it's going to tell me it already exists. Okay, and then it adds it to my stuff, and now I click on View the Item. So now under My Stuff, I have that access to that video under my YouTube videos link. Okay, and again, I can now also associate this to a group if I want to. I can add it to a collection here and have that available. Okay, but it's definitely a way that we can use YouTube. And so again, the steps would be, first of all, search for it in My Big Campus, at least for this coming week, and just see what the videos that are there. And again, they're in My Big Campus. They're perfectly safe to show to your students. And then next week, we'll go through the internet safety training, and then I'll get your names over to Joe and have you put your names into the override group, and then you can go to YouTube and use it to find those videos. But again, don't use it to show the videos from YouTube, but just to find the link to put it into My Big Campus and stream them from My Big Campus.
Does it have to be YouTube? Or is CNN or something?
It's pretty specific to YouTube. Let's try a CNN one and see what happens. But I think, I don't know if there's something specific about YouTube, but let's see here. Okay, so let's take one of these. Again, I'll copy this link here. Okay, and we'll go to add a YouTube video. So again, that's under the library link at the top. Add a new YouTube video. And we'll see what happens with. Oh, so it needs me to fill in some videos. So notice I clicked on Get Info. It put in the title for me, but it put in some other information here. So I didn't. It was something about a road sign, wasn't it? Oh, misspelled school sign. Okay. Can put in some tags. I'll just put in spelling. Okay. And then we'll just do current events. Minimum grade level. That's kind of a nice feature. I mean, I don't think you can trust it 100% of the time. But you can say, you know, this is appropriate for this grade level, but not for that grade level, if you wanted to. And then I can click on Add. Okay, and then there it is. So now I can click on that to play that one for my kids. So it looks like any streaming video will work with that.
So you find it.
So,
and
yeah, so
it becomes a tag, and then you go to library and save it.
right. So the first thing I would do, personally, is I would start with going to the library and seeing what videos are already there. I mean, that just saves you that extra work of having to add something if it's already been added. And so start there, and again, you can search for any topic that you want to.
So it searches other people's libraries? Or
Right, so it's basically searching, no, this is searching anything that any user has ever put in. And again, Lightspeed is a national company, so you've got teachers. Mm-hmm.
It was posted by a high school teacher in Ohio.
Yeah. Yep, so you've got teachers all over the country that are posting videos there.
Yeah, and then look at all his videos and get
Okay.
more, so.
You know, you have that smart board and you hooked up computer-wise, so because one of the classes I have over in Daniels is all set up, so we use this to show.
Well,
Smart board, so-
all you need is a projector and a computer. So, I mean, the smart board adds the interactivity up here, but you don't need it to do this, okay? So I search for that, and again, there's all these videos that are here already available that I don't have to do anything except click on them to show them. But if you happen to find a video on YouTube or somewhere else that you really want to show and it's not here, then that's where you would find the video, copy the link to it, and then come back and add it. Okay?
And then does it classify it?
No, then that's when you would classify it.
Okay.
So you paste the video here
Okay.
and tell it to get the info, and it'll populate the title and a few things, but then the rest of it you'll want to fill in.
Now, if I do a search, like here I did a search of fossil fuels, that's what I'm teaching right now, and this stuff is quite rare. Can I put in like for 5th grade or something?
Mm-hmm.
And it would be a little bit more specific.
So down here under the grade level, yeah, you could say, I want this, to me, I think this is appropriate for 5th through 7th. That doesn't mean somebody else couldn't,
I could put fossil fuels.
Right.
6.
Mm-hmm. And just see if that pops in or not. You bet. Okay. So again, My Big Campus, I think, is a great tool. Hopefully we'll get the elementary students figured out. But the key thing with elementary is even if we are still struggling to get the kids to log in, most of this stuff you can still do. You can just make it public, and they can still go to it from the address, and they can still see the resources. They can still see the videos. They can still see assignments. Really, the only thing that allowing students to log in to do is it allows them to chat back and forth with you. It allows them to chat back and forth with each other, to create pages and do those kinds of things. So it's still a really good tool for elementary teachers, even if we don't have the kids ready to log into it yet. Okay, I feel like I've been talking nonstop, so I'm just going to real briefly talk about Outlook Live. This will be very brief, and we might spend a little bit more time with it. But anytime that you're not on your school computer, the computer that's right in your classroom, the way to check your email is through Outlook Live or Outlook.com. All the time we have teachers go into like the computer lab either here or in their schools and go to Outlook to try to check their email. But Outlook isn't meant to be opened up on different computers. It's really very specific to the one computer that's assigned to you that's installed on your computer. So again, you can get to it from the teacher portal, but it's a pretty simple address of just Outlook.com. And this is the other reason, going back to the question from online on why I think if I were to have my kids sign up for an email address as a parent, I'd probably put them on Outlook. So Outlook.com takes us to our mail. Okay, so pretty simple and straightforward. It looks a lot the same as Outlook on our computers. But one thing that you may not have seen before is here under Office, you have access to Word and Excel and PowerPoint and OneNote through the internet. So what I grew up with was Word was a program that you had to buy and install on your computer. It was usually a very expensive program. As a struggling student, most of the time I couldn't even afford to install Office onto my computers. Even as a beginning teacher, I couldn't afford to install Office on there. About, 7 years ago, Google Docs came out. Anybody ever use Google Docs? So Google Docs was Google's answer to Microsoft, and Google being Google, they said, we're doing it for free. So here's a Word editing document that you can do for free, an Excel program you can use for free, but it's all cloud-based. It's all going to be on our servers. You don't install anything. You just do it through the internet. Well, that was a huge kick in the teeth for Microsoft, because now their product that they were selling for $150 to $200 for a suite was now available essentially from Google Docs for free. And so I think they kind of, like usual, they said, okay, if you can't beat them, then you join them. And so they started through Hotmail, they released Word, Excel, and PowerPoint completely online. So if you don't have Word installed on any of your computers at home, you can go to the internet and you can work on them right here. So I can go to a new Word document, and again, not opening up Word on my computer at all, just working completely in the cloud, I can create a document. And going back to your flash drive now, I don't have to carry a flash drive, because if I do it on the internet, any computer in the world I go to, I can access that document. So my school computer, the computer here in the lab, your lab at your schools, your laptop at home, any computer that hits the internet, you can now access this document. Okay? So I went to, it's under the Office link. Okay, so I have a mail link here.
How long has this been available?
Well, when we moved our email to their servers last summer is when it really started being available for the first time. Last spring? Yeah, a little ahead. So you've got Word, Excel, PowerPoint there, and then some cool things are I can now, and I don't want to overcomplicate what we're doing, but if I go to my documents, this is another way I could share that. So I just created this temp file, and I can click on that, and I can edit it. I can open it in Word, move to, copy to, rename, embed, or I can share it. So I can click on there, and now I can share that with, again, students in my class. I could share it with parents. If I had a bunch of emails from my parents, I could copy and paste those emails into here and send that out to all my parents, and they could see it.
Where does it default save to? That SkyDrive thing here?
Yeah, so it's saving it up literally on the cloud, and you can organize these documents just like you have your documents organized at school.
I was gonna say, if you're not if you're home, you could pull up your desktop at school and save it to your desktop at school.
Right. So what you would
there and then pull it up from there.
Yeah, so at school, then you go into the internet and hit SkyDrive and open it up. Yep.
I have SkyDrive on my desktop.
Can you
but
move
what didn't have
existing
on my desktop.
documents?
Yep. Yep, they have an upload limit of 50 megs, which is a pretty big file. You might get some high-resolution pictures that are bigger than that, but you can absolutely you can add files and pull them in from your documents and do something like that. They also have a sync option, but there's they don't have a bug with their sync option, but there's a bug with how it works with our sync. So we'll kind of talk about that.
Well, if you don't have SkyDrive on your desktop as a I don't know what to say, quickly, whatever, you just go to outlook.com and
Yep.
go to recent documents off of Office.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
So just know that that's there, and we'll be kind of playing with that, and just some ways that we can, again, share files and folders back and forth. So, or that you can work, again, on any computer that has internet access. Okay, so that's a pretty good start for tonight. We didn't get into RM Easy Teach yet, but we'll start into that next week for sure, as well as answer any other questions you have. So any other just questions for me before we wrap up for tonight?
We can just delete these emails from you.
Yeah. Did you get a few? The posts from yeah, and that is one thing with My Big Campus is as you join groups, you'll start to get a lot of emails coming in, so something to watch.
Probably stay on one of those two.
Yeah, or you can set up rules just to delete them and do those kinds of things. But sometimes they're nice. Like our tech committee, as those emails pop in, and I know, okay, there's stuff I need to go and respond to on My Big Campus or do those things. So, okay. Well, great having everybody here. Everybody is able to sign up that wants the credit. Is that correct? And we'll see you back here next week at 4 o'clock. Yes.
She found it. I showed her a video that she wants for her now. She has it up. How do I copy? How does she save it so she can add it?
Is there a link to put under My Resources? I mean, you can always go back and search for it just that way.
Just add a collection, is I hitting that to add it to my collection? I don't know. Or do you go to library to save? What did you go to?
So what I would do is, I would just probably create a group there. Just get the map.
I'm gonna run right home, just really
Okay. So now, I'm here to your stuff.
We gotta get that. No, we're in the process. And get it. This week. And we're off that report, they can pull off of. Yeah.
There it is.
So what we did is when it was there, we created this group, but added and created the group. And I know so we didn't actually add the two. So I just, so you're under add. I just put
Oh.
for so we did 10 and we did add. But what that did is it added the 10.
Oh, okay.
What do I do to get it in now? I just don't have my hands.
Now that you have it.
Your stuff. Okay.
That's a great.
Is there a way she can still direct or?
What you could do, the way to do that,
If she wanted all of these, not all of them.
would be for her to join your group.
Oh,
That would be the best way. She can have access to-
Reciprocal things.
Online, does anybody have any questions?
Okay.
Everybody sign off?
I feel bad for these.
okay, so type in this on the library here.
Jennifer, Mary, and Nicole, I think we're wrapping up here. Did you guys have any questions for me at all?
Nope, that was good.
Okay, great. And we'll plan on having you next week then. Have a good night.
Okay.